Let me tell you something that might change the way you see everything. You don't miss them. You miss who you were when you were with them. And I know that sounds strange at first, because right now, it feels like all of this is about them. Their absence, their silence, the fact that they're no longer in your life. But if you slow down for a moment and really pay attention to what you're feeling, you'll notice something deeper. It's not just that they're gone. It's that something inside you feels missing. And that's the part most people never understand. Because when you were with them, you weren't just in a relationship. You were in a different version of yourself. A version of you that felt chosen. A version of you that felt seen. A version of you that woke up with something to look forward to. Your days had meaning. Your routine had emotion. Even the smallest things felt different. A message from them could change your entire mood. A call from them could turn a bad day into a good one. And slowly, without even realizing it, you started attaching that feeling to them. You started believing, they are the reason I feel this way. They are the reason I'm happy. They are the reason my life feels complete. And that belief is dangerous. Not because loving someone is wrong, but because losing yourself in that love always comes at a cost. So when they left, it didn't just feel like losing a person. It felt like losing stability, like losing emotional ground beneath your feet, like everything that once felt certain suddenly became uncertain. And that's where the real pain begins. Because now, you're not just dealing with their absence, you're dealing with confusion, questions that don't have clear answers, thoughts that don't stop, feelings that don't make sense. You start replaying moments, conversations, memories, trying to find something you missed, something you could have done differently, something that could have changed the outcome. And slowly, your mind creates a narrative. Maybe I wasn't enough. Maybe I messed it up. Maybe if I try again, it could work. And that's the moment where everything becomes dangerous. Because now, you're not just remembering them, you're rewriting reality. You start focusing only on the good, the laughter, the connection, the moments that felt real. And your brain quietly ignores everything else. The confusion, the inconsistency, the times you felt unsure, the moments where something didn't feel right. Because your brain doesn't care about truth, it cares about comfort. And right now, the past feels more comfortable than the present. Even if it wasn't perfect, even if it had problems, even if deep down, you know it wasn't as good as your mind is making it seem. And this is where most people get stuck. They don't miss the person, they miss the version of life they had with them. The feeling, the routine, the emotional high, the sense of belonging. Because let's be real, before them, you were okay. You had a life, you had your own rhythm, you had your own peace. But after experiencing that connection, everything else feels empty in comparison. And that's what makes it so hard to let go. It's not that you can't live without them. It's that you don't want to go back to a version of life that feels less exciting, less connected, less alive. So your mind keeps pulling you back, not because they were perfect, but because they represented a version of you that you don't want to lose. And this is the shift you need to understand. You're not trying to get them back. You're trying to get that version of yourself back. The one that felt alive, the one that felt wanted, the one that felt like life had meaning. But here's the truth. That version of you was never theirs. It was always yours. They didn't create it. They revealed it. They gave you an environment where that version of you could exist, but they were never the source. You were. And if you created that version of yourself once, you can create it again without them. But right now, you don't believe that because your mind is still attached, still holding on, still trying to reconnect what was lost. And that's okay, because awareness is the first step. Understanding what's actually happening inside you is what breaks the illusion. Because once you realize that you're not missing them, you're missing yourself, everything starts to change. Now, instead of asking, how do I get them back? You start asking, how do I become that version of myself again? And that question is where your power begins, because the answer is not in their messages, not in their actions, not in whether they come back or not. It's in you, your habits, your mindset, your identity, your growth. And the moment you shift your focus from them to yourself, you stop feeling powerless because you're no longer waiting, you're rebuilding. And slowly, that emptiness starts to feel different. Not like something is missing, but like something is being rebuilt. And that's the moment everything changes. Because you realize you were never incomplete. You just forgot who you were without them. That you don't just miss them, you miss how you felt when you were with them. Let's go deeper. Because what you're feeling right now is not just emotional, it's chemical. And once you understand this part, you'll stop blaming yourself. When you were with them, your brain was constantly being rewarded. Every message, every notification, every moment of attention, it wasn't just nice, it was stimulation, it was dopamine. And dopamine is powerful. It's the same chemical that drives habits, that builds attachment, that makes you want more of something, even when you know it's not good for you. So over time, your brain didn't just enjoy them, it started depending on them. They became part of your emotional routine, something your mind expected, something your body got used to. Think about it like this. You didn't just lose a person, you lost a pattern, a rhythm your brain was comfortable with. You used to wake up and check their messages. You used to go through your day with them in your mind. You used to end your day talking to them. And now, that entire pattern is gone. And your brain doesn't like that. It doesn't like change. It doesn't like uncertainty. It doesn't like losing something it got used to. So what does it do? It starts craving it. It starts trying to bring it back. It starts telling you things like, just text them, just check their profile, just see what they're doing. Not because it's logical, but because it wants to feel normal again. And this is where most people get trapped. They think, I feel this strongly, so it must be love. But it's not just love, it's withdrawal. Your brain is reacting the same way it does when something it's used to is suddenly removed. That restless feeling, that urge, that constant thinking, that emotional pull you can't ignore. It's not weakness. It's not because you can't move on. It's because your brain is adjusting. But here's the dangerous part. Your brain will lie to you to get what it wants. It will show you only the good memories, the moments that made you feel happy, the times everything felt perfect. It will replay those moments again and again until you start believing that's all it was. And it will hide everything else. The confusion, the emotional distance, the times you felt unsure, the moments where something didn't feel right. Because your brain isn't trying to show you reality. It's trying to bring back the feeling. And that's why it's so hard to let go. Because you're not just letting go of a person, you're letting go of a chemical cycle, a pattern your brain got addicted to. An addiction doesn't disappear instantly, it fades over time. But only if you stop feeding it. Every time you check their profile, you restart the cycle. Every time you text them, you reset the progress. Every time you hold on to hope, you delay your healing. And that's the part no one tells you. Healing is not about time alone. It's about what you do with that time. Because you can spend months still thinking about them, still checking on them, still emotionally attached. Or you can spend that same time breaking the pattern. And the way you do that is by understanding this one thing. You don't need them to feel okay. It just feels like you do. Because your brain hasn't adjusted yet. An adjustment takes space. It takes silence. It takes discipline. Because in the beginning, it's going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel the urge. You're going to feel the pull. You're going to feel like going back. But that's not a sign to act. That's a sign to wait. Because every time you don't react, you're training your brain. Every time you sit with the feeling, instead of escaping it, you're getting stronger. And slowly, that urge starts to weaken. That emotional intensity starts to fade. That constant thinking starts to slow down. Not because you forced it, but because your brain adapted. And one day, you'll realize something strange. You went hours without thinking about them, then days, then even longer. And that's when it hits you. You're not stuck anymore. But that only happens if you stop feeding the cycle. So the next time you feel that urge, that need to reach out, that feeling that you can't take it anymore, pause and remind yourself, this is not love. This is my brain trying to go back to what's familiar. And I don't need to follow it. I just need to let it pass. Because feelings are temporary, but actions have consequences. And every time you choose not to go back, you're choosing yourself. You're choosing growth. You're choosing control. And most importantly, you're breaking free from something that was never meant to control you. Because the goal is not to forget them. The goal is to stop needing them. And once you reach that point, you don't just move on, you level up. Because now you understand yourself in a way you never did before. And that changes everything. And now you're about to remember. Now that you're starting to understand, now let's talk about the mistake that almost everyone makes. The one that feels right in the moment, but quietly destroys your value over time. Chasing. It doesn't always look obvious. It's not just texting them again and again. Sometimes it's subtle. Checking their profile constantly. Watching their stories the second they post. Posting things just to get their attention. Trying to stay visible in their life without saying it directly. And in your mind, it feels justified because you tell yourself, I care about them. I don't want to lose them. I just want things to go back to how they were. But here's the truth. Most people don't want to hear. Chasing doesn't bring someone closer. It pushes them further away. Not because you're not good enough, but because of how human psychology works. People value what feels uncertain, what feels like it could be lost, what doesn't feel guaranteed. So when someone walks away and you immediately chase them, you remove all uncertainty. You show them, no matter what you do, I'm still here. No matter how you treat me, I'm not going anywhere. And that changes everything. Because now, they don't feel the pressure of losing you. They don't feel the need to fight for you. They don't feel the urgency to come back. Because in their mind, you're already there. And when something feels guaranteed, it stops feeling valuable. Now think about this honestly. Have you ever noticed how people start paying more attention when you stop giving them yours? When you stop replying instantly? When you stop being available all the time? When you stop making them the center of your world? Suddenly, they notice. That's not a coincidence. That's human nature. Attention feels valuable when it's limited. But when it's constant, it becomes expected. And once something becomes expected, it becomes easy to ignore. So every time you chase, every time you reach out first, every time you try to stay in their life, you're not increasing your value, you're normalizing your presence. And once your presence becomes normal, it loses its emotional impact. Now I know what you might be thinking, so I should just ignore them. No, this isn't about playing games. This isn't about pretending you don't care. This is about understanding value. There's a difference between silence as a strategy and silence as self-respect. One is fake, the other is powerful. Because real power doesn't come from trying to make someone react. It comes from not needing them to. Right now, your focus is on them, what they're doing, what they're thinking, whether they miss you, whether they'll come back. And that focus is costing you everything. Because the more attention you give them, the less attention you give yourself. You stop growing. You stop improving. You stop living your life. Because your energy is stuck on someone who is no longer choosing you. And the truth is, you cannot attract someone back by losing yourself. You cannot rebuild attraction from a place of desperation. And you definitely cannot earn love by chasing someone who already walked away.